Lamar better than Vic? Yes. I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Michael
Larry
Vick.
Bird never had a bad season.
Lamar Chase is going to have 15 touchdowns.
He may still be the best player in the world.
Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. Man, look, I'm just happy to be here on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday night. I'm glad y'all could tap in with me, whoever decided to tap in with me tonight. Short notice stream, man. I just wanted to tap in with my loyals, man, and say what's up, man. Shout out to the ones on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to drop a like. Show some support, man. Basketball season is coming up. I can't wait for that. But for now, we are talking about football. NFL Week 1 kickoff was a little shaky. It was a little shaky, but we here. As you all know, this podcast is sponsored by Prize Picks. Look, man, if you're a gambling man, go ahead and download that app. Use promo code OG17, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. Trust me, I do it each and every week. The lines is looking decent this week, especially for my Eagles game. You know, I'm taking my Eagles on Thursday night against the Vikings. Probably put 100 on that game. Look, man, do what y'all do. Just make sure you use the promo code OG17 at checkout. Y'all already know what it is, man. But I'm glad to see y'all in here, man. I'm glad to see y'all in here. Let's see what we got. We got Dub Boy Kevo in here. What's poppin', my man? How you feeling? We got Bam in here. What we thinking about Jordan Love and the Packers Week 1? Look, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing. It looks like the Chicago Bears got hell to pay for the next 12 seasons. Jordan Love, man. Jordan Love. Look, it's just a sad day for a Bears fan when you have to go through Brett Favre for 20 years. Then you get Aaron Rodgers for another 20. And then you think you catch a break. You draft Justin Fields. You think you're on the up and up. And then Week 1 happens and the first official start as the guy for Jordan Love. And he goes the hell off, and he has a hell of a game. Shout out to Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, man. It looks like another at least 10 to 12 years of hell for the Chicago Bears fans. My Chiefs receivers were horrible. No doubt about that. We don't have to question that. The Kansas City Chiefs receivers are ass. If I was Travis Kelce, I wouldn't come back until I was the highest paid tight end in the league. Real talk. Glad to catch you live. Appreciate it, Jones, man. I appreciate you tuning in, my man. Appreciate it. How you feel about the Browns? Look, we're going to get into all of that, man. We got a tight schedule. I got a lot that I want to get into. We're going to do a lot of things from top to bottom. I'm going to give my takeaways from Week 1. We're going to do who's going to lead the league in every major statistical category. We're going to talk. I'm going to give y'all my picks for this upcoming week. Use them however you may. You can head over to Prize Picks and use them there. Use them wherever the hell you want. I don't give a damn. I'm going to give them to y'all who I think is going to win, who I think is going to lose. We're going to talk a lot, man. We definitely got a lot to talk about. But let's see. 5 takeaways from Week 1, right? Number 1. Tyreek Hill might be the best wide receiver in the league. The display that he put on Sunday, live for the world to see, was nothing short of immaculate. 215 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa looked like he only had eyes for Ricky Reek. Tyreek Hill just might be the best wide receiver in football. And listen, I'm the type of guy that does not like to relinquish the king of his crown. I don't. I would rather have the king lose his crown before I give it to somebody else, just off the strength of impulse, right? So by me saying this and leaping off the page means Tyreek Hill's been hovering around that territory at least for the past 2 to 3 seasons. Am I right? He's been top 3, top 5 on everybody's list at least for the past 2 or 3 seasons. Now I think just based off Week 1 alone, I'm a playoff guy, but damn, it is hard to ignore what Tyreek Hill did Week 1 on opening night. You got some of the best sports content, no doubt. Appreciate you, Doug, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's Tyreek, Jets, and Tay Adams. I had Jets at I mean, I had Tay Adams coming into the season as the best wide receiver in the league, but what Ricky Reek did is crazy. Number 2, the Bears have a lot to work with when it comes to how they're going about rebuilding this team. They got a long way to go, man. Everybody thought and anticipated the Bears would come in here and handle business against the Green Bay Packers, and no. This is a very, very bland candy cane on Christmas Day offense. Very predictable. Who's calling the plays? I don't know. Offensive coordinator Getsky needs to figure some shit out because this is ridiculous. And it looks bad on Justin Fields' behalf because he's missing wide open guys. He's hesitant because the offensive line is still shaky. And to me, when starting a true rebuild, it starts in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, then quarterback and skill position. That's just how I would imagine this is supposed to go down. But the Bears have a long way to go. So whoever anticipated the Bears to have a breakout season or the Bears to be the Cinderella story of the year, it is not happening. The Chicago Bears have a long way to go in this rebuild and a long way with developing Justin Fields into the quarterback that I know he can be coming out of Ohio State. Point blank, right? Like, they need to get this man in some rollouts. They need to cut the field in half. They need to improve on this running game. They need to invest some money on the offensive side of the ball. I understand they got DJ Moore. Chase Claypool was running his routes in half speed. I do not like him as a wide receiver in the National Football League. Donnell Mooney, I believe, is banged up. I just don't know how I feel about the Chicago Bears pass catchers. I don't know. And it's hindering the development of Justin Fields. So as far as right now, the Bears have a long way to go until they prove me wrong. I would love to see Justin Fields thrive, but the candy cane offense is not doing it for me. It's definitely not doing it for me. Right? Number 3, Tua Tagovailoa needs to be mentioned amongst the great quarterbacks in this league. And when I say mention, I don't mean, let's throw him in there and he's in the conversation. No. When I'm saying the conversation, I'm talking about the Joe Burrows, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, the Justin Herberts, the Patrick Mahomeses. He needs to be mentioned with the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa together is a godsend. And then you add in Jalen Waddle just to add insult to injury. I don't understand how any team is going to be able to compete with these boys the way that this offense can explode on any given play. You got to watch Jalen Waddle because he could take the top off the defense. Then you got to watch Tyreek Hill because not only is he a great route runner, but he can also fly and take the top off your defense. It's just so much to worry about in this offense. Everybody got a 99 speed. That's just what it is. Everybody got a 99 speed on this offense, and it's crazy because who's going to be able to deal with them? I think they're going to completely run it up this year, and I don't think anybody's going to be close. Like, I love Kansas City, but I think Kansas City might struggle a bit this year with these pass catchers or lack thereof that they have or don't have, whatever you want to call it. But in the midst of all of that going on, I do honestly, truly believe Tua Tagovailoa and this Miami Dolphins offense will seriously break some records this year. Number 4, the New York Jets are screwed. All of this hype, all of this anticipation, the arrival of Aaron Rodgers, the maturity of Garrett Wilson, this ferocious defense, a second-year pro in Sauce Gardner with Defensive Player of the Year aspirations. You got Quentin in the middle. You got everything you need to succeed. These guys were projected to do great things this year. All goes down the drain simply because Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. Prayers up for Aaron Rodgers. I hope for a speedy recovery. But I'm going to tell you guys like this. When injuries like this happen to 39-year-old, 40-year-old quarterbacks, they usually don't bounce back from this. The older you get, the slower you recover, the harder it is to maintain being healthy, and also the harder it is to bounce back from a injury, especially one of this magnitude. So the Jets season, pretty much to me, the way the AFC is shaped out, to be honest with you, they might not even make the playoffs. I know what they did last year, but let's be honest with yourself. The Jets, with Zach Wilson as their quarterback, they might not even make the playoffs. The AFC is that tough. Like, they may even finish third or fourth in the division the way the Patriots looked against the Eagles. I don't see the Jets making the playoffs. That may be a bold prediction, but that's just how I see it, man. The New York Jets might be screwed unless they figure out a way to run the hell out of this ball, play some hellacious defense, and prevent Zach Wilson from turning the football over. It's legitimately the only shot they have at making the playoffs. And I know they won week 1, but let's be honest, that was more so about Josh Allen being ass than the Jets being good, and I'm just keeping it a bean with you. Number 5. The Cowboys is going to be trouble, man. This Cowboys defense is going to be trouble. I hate to admit it, but this Cowboys defense is very good, and it's crazy because I predicted this. Last week we did my top 5 defenses going into week 1, right? And I had the Cowboys finishing first for the season. I had the Cowboys finishing 1, and these boys came out here and shut out Daniel Jones, garbage ass, Danny Pennies, Gabricio. The starters were sitting out by the third quarter. Dak Prescott didn't look too good, so that's basically the hope that I have to cling on to for this when it comes to the success of the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe Dak Prescott will screw it up in January, February, like he always does. Well, not February, but January, December, towards the end of the season into the playoffs, like he always does. So I got to lean on that. But outside of that, man, this defense, it's going to be trouble, and it's going to give us a whole heap of problems. I'm looking forward to this matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. I want to test my offense against this defense, man, because damn. That defense is crazy. Wish Waddle would have got a bit more loose. I have him in fantasy. Yeah, Waddle's a dog, though, man. If you got him in fantasy, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, it really does not matter where you have him at. He's going to take off this year. He's going to have a great year. They're going to be in a ton of shootouts, not to blame anything on that defense. It's just a simple fact that the combo of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is just the perfect mesh. It's mashed potatoes and gravy. Like, you can't go wrong with it. I think the Chargers made them look better than what they really are. Nah, man. Like, nah. Miami is the truth, man. They are who we thought they were. Facts. Yes, sir. Been waiting on my boys. Thanks, OG. Which boys you talking about? Who's your boys? Miami? Is that your squad? Darius, who's your squad? How do you feel about Kaepernick's agent reaching out to the Jets? Look, man, Kaepernick is done. If they didn't sign Colin Kaepernick back 5-6 years ago, he ain't coming back into the NFL. There's no way in hell. You seen what just happened to Aaron Rodgers at 40 years old. How old is Kaepernick? Like 38, 39? There's no way in hell Colin Kaepernick's entering the league. I mean, the Jets are going to look into, in my opinion, they should. Shannon Sharp made a great point. Call Tom Brady. See what he's doing. Does he have any interest in coming back for another season? Because if they can get an elite quarterback like him, even at this juncture in his career, it can snap things right back into place. Now, you got options like Jameis Winston, you got Carson Wentz, you got Colt McCoy. Not very good options, but they are options at the quarterback position. Or you could just choose to roll with Zach Wilson, whom in which you wasted a second overall pick on. So we'll see how that goes. Cowboys, yeah, them boys is the real deal on defense, man. Not too sure about them on offense, even though Pollard did touch paint twice this past Sunday, but we'll see how it goes. How you feeling about Bijan? Bijan is a dog, man. He had a hell of an opening parade in his NFL debut. I like what I saw from the kid. He's very shifty. He's a big body, man. He can do it all. In a minute, that'll be his backfield. I know Algier scored a couple of touchdowns last week, but that's not the fear. If you have Bijan in fantasy, start him with confidence every single week. They're going to wean rookies into the offense. That's what they like to do. Shout out to Bijan Robinson. He is a dog, and I have all the confidence in the world in him. He's going to have a successful rookie campaign, no doubt about that. But let's move on. Let's keep it moving, right? I'm going to get a little hyphy. I'm going to get a little loud because you know what I got coming up next, the top performers, right? So when we get into this, I need y'all to chill out. Y'all already know, cover your ears because it might get loud. It might get loud up in here, right? Let's get it. Week 1 is in the books, so you know what time it is. OG's top performers, and you know the rules. You want to get in, you better win. Now let's get it popping. Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Number 5. We got CMC. That man was running wild. 22 carries, a $169 touchdown versus the Steelers. Slow him down. CMC was balling. Shout out to CMC. He's back. And I hope he can stay healthy. Because if he can stay healthy with that offensive line, San Francisco was going places. No doubt about that. Number 4, I got the man out of San Fran, back-to-back picks. Give me Brandon Ayuk. He had himself a day, 8 catches, a $129, 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. They couldn't guard this man with a 15-foot pole. Real talk. Brandon Ayuk, he's looking like the number 1, not Deebo Samuel. Not overrated ass Deebo Samuel is definitely looking like Brandon Ayuk is a serious breakout candidate in like his 4th season in the NFL. Shout out to Brandon Ayuk, man. He was getting open all night against them boys. Facts. Number 3, give me Tua Tagovailoa. 466 yards, 3 touchdowns versus the Chargers. Had J.C. Jackson on jet skates. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going on in L.A. Hold on. Was that J.C. Jackson? J.C. Jackson still with L.A.? All I know is Tua Tagovailoa had a date. Him, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, like you say, he didn't pop off that much, but his week is coming in the near future. Tua Tagovailoa to Tyreek Hill may be the best 1-2 punch in the league next to Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. Tua Tagovailoa had himself a day. Shout out to Tua, man. I got Tua as a potential MVP candidate by the time the season ends. When we get to hit in week 10, week 11, and the conversation really start cooking, I guarantee you Tua Tagovailoa will be at the top of everybody's list around that time. Number 2, I got the entire Dallas Cowboys defense. Them boys had a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 7 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 resulting in a TD, pitched the shutout while holding the Giants to under 200 yards of total offense. Y'all let this happen? Come on, man. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys defense, man. They are number 2. And number 1, I got to go Tyreek Hill. 11 catches, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Arguably, it might not even be arguably. This could be a true assessment. Tyreek Hill, the best wide receiver in the league. He is your top performer. Reeky Reek, man, week in and week out. 40 burger and a donut. Crazy. Crazy. My Browns are going to shock the league. It's very possible, man, that week 1 win against let's get into that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, the Browns were impressive. Like, my man Cardell always be running his mouth, OG, you never talk about the Browns. Look, I talk about the Browns when it's time to talk about the Browns. I'm not finna sit up here and just talk about a team because they just in existence. It's 32 teams in the NFL. And the Browns usually are who we thought they were. Garbage, right? But the Browns had an impressive win against the Bengals on Sunday, right? The weather was shitty. The weather was garbage. It was raining all over the place. And it just seems like the Browns are going to hype you guys up and get you thinking that they are who they are, and potentially they could be, because I love Deshaun Watson and I want to see him excel. But he seems to be possibly getting his feet up underneath them. I don't really know if it's legit yet. He had a rushing touchdown. He had 200-plus yards of total offense by himself. He threw a passing touchdown. But it's still like, is that Houston Deshaun? I don't know, man. I need to see a little bit more, man. I need to see a little bit more, man. That might not be Houston Deshaun. But in all fairness, they beat the dog shit out of the Cincinnati Bengals. They just got their number. On speed dial. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Bengals. They got their number on speed dial, so we'll see how that goes. But shout out to the Browns, man. Shout out to the Browns. Nick Chubb had himself a day over 100 yards on the ground. He didn't touch paint, but Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb, man, and that's all I wanted to see is how we can handle a consistent workload. They had an opportunity to run the clock out late, and they utilized it and resulted in Nick Chubb going over 100 yards, which I deem to be on a more consistent basis this season. So let's keep it a buck. The Cleveland Browns got everything they need to succeed. Now let's see what happens. Now, I'm not saying they won't, but I'm saying they got a tough division. They're in a division where they got to play Lamar Jackson twice. They got to play Kenny Pickett. He didn't look too good, but I think Kenny Pickett will be fine towards the middle of the season. Get him a few more weeks. You know what I'm saying? So they're in a very, very tough division. You know what I mean? And we'll see what happens as the season progresses. But shout out to the Cleveland Browns for a good Week 1 win. But we all know what the game of the week was, man. We all know the game of the week was definitely that Chargers-Miami game. Tyreek Hill's the best in the league. Justin Herbert needs to figure out how to close out games, right? Because you got to ask yourself this question, right? If you were to ask 90%, if you were to ask the NFL community who's the better quarterback between Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert, I guarantee you 90% of the NFL community would lean towards Justin Herbert. Then why doesn't his talent equate to wins or equate to close, subtle victories like the one Tua Tagovailoa just pulled out? That was a hell of a game. Tua down the stretch, dot to Tyreek Hill in the back of the end zone. He will not be led astray. Tua Tagovailoa outplayed Justin Herbert on that field. So right now, today, if you're asking me who's the better quarterback, I'm rolling with Tua. A lot of people like to pat Justin Herbert on the back, and they want to crown him the greatest young quarterback in the league all of a sudden, quickly. They want to do it quickly. Like, they don't want to waste time with it. Everybody's in love with Justin Herbert, and that's fine. I like the kid too, but I just feel like we should pump the brakes and really do some self-evaluation. Look at the role that Tua Tagovailoa was on last year before he started getting concussion problems. And he's picking up right where he left off. This is a guy that was going through neurological issues. Look how he's balling out. He just outperformed Justin Herbert. That's why I'm telling you, man, that's y'all. If y'all want to crown him then. But a guy like me, the way Tua's playing, give me Tua Tagovailoa over Justin Herbert, and that's real talk. It feels different this year. Our new defensive coordinator got the defense looking like it's supposed to. People are saying fire the Chargers coach, but I think it's Herbert. Man, Herbert's got to figure out a way to pull close games like that out. If you guys want me to call him elite, he's got to find a way to figure out how to win close games like that. That was a shootout. It was a hell of a game. It's everything every NFL could want in a game. Back and forth action, high-powered offenses. You got Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler out here. You got Mike Williams out here. You got Tyreek Hill. You got Raheem Mostert. You got Jalen Waddle out here. Great game, man. It was a great game. But to me, in order to be proven elite, you got to pull out games like that. And I need to see more from you, Justin. Like, I haven't seen it. I need to see more from you, Justin. Like, somebody mentioned Jordan Love earlier. And I mentioned how the Bears got to go through another decade of turmoil because they have another quarterback issue over here in Green Bay. I think Green Bay has found their guy. Jordan Love, I love to see it. Another black quarterback starting in the NFL. I love to see it every time I can. Jordan Love came out here and had himself a day against the woeful Chicago Bears. He goes for 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. Most importantly, 0 interceptions. That's what I like to see out of a guy who's trying to establish leadership in a locker room and establish himself as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. They did everything right for him. Matt LaFleur had him throwing the ball, short throws, cut the field in half, making easy reads, making it easier on your young quarterback, right? This is like his third, fourth year in the league, and he looks like he's got it figured out. Now, it may be because he played the woeful Bears, but what my eyes showed me on Sunday was that Jordan Love is going to be a problem. And to be honest with you, he was throwing the ball to Romeo Doubs, who wouldn't start on anybody's roster in the entire league outside of maybe Kansas City, because he might be the number one if he were to go over there. But outside of Kansas City, he ain't starting on nobody's roster but the Packers, right? I love me some Christian Watson, North Dakota State. I love Christian Watson. He was injured in this game, did not play. So Jordan Love did not only come out here without his number one, but he came out here with a guy that probably wouldn't start on any other squad in the entire league. Shout out to Romeo Doubs for showing his ass and stepping up and being that number one for your young quarterback to show, improve, and do what the hell he need to do. Shout out to Romeo Doubs. Shout out to Jordan Love, man. He had himself a day. Real talk. What we got? We moving through this pretty fast, man. I like the way we moving. We moving and grooving right now. I told y'all I ain't gonna waste too much of y'all time. You know what I'm saying? So the Chargers went and got him one of the best offensive coaches in the league, and he's arguably some of the best. Like when are we gonna start placing blame on these quarterbacks that we're so thirsty to call elite, right? When are we gonna start placing blame or giving these guys some type of culpability, holding them accountable for the lack of production or performances, especially in a game of that magnitude? Magnitude not only meaning like, they're playing the Miami Dolphins, but magnitude meaning it's late in the game. It's a one-possession game. We need you to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, come out of this alive. Be the one to come out of this alive. Spoil Tyreek Hill's day. Spoil Tua Tagovailoa's day. That's all I'm saying. And it seemed like just week in, week out, when the ball is in Justin Herbert's hands, he just doesn't pull it out. And pause, you know what I'm saying? But he just don't, he don't come out with the dub. But yeah, let me see what we got here. We moving along pretty fast. Chad, how was y'all weekend, man? Did y'all enjoy football? Did y'all enjoy everything that we had in store for the weekend, man? Let me know how y'all feeling right now. How was y'all weekend? You know what I'm saying? Just checking in on y'all, man. Y'all know I love y'all, every single one of y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all. When y'all pull up on me for these little conversations we be having, man. How was y'all weekend, man? But we gonna get into let's do who will lead the league, right? Let's play a game in which we pick who will lead the league in the major statistical categories for your position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, right? Are the three positions that I'm gonna utilize. Then I'm gonna talk who's gonna lead the league in sacks, interceptions, and tackles, right? Let's run through this as quickly as we can. It is getting a little bit late, and I don't want to keep you guys up past your bedtime, right? Who will lead the league? Quarterback, passing yards. I got Tua Tagovailoa leading the league in passing yards. I think he's going to throw for over 5,000 yards this season, the way they're looking. If he can maintain health, I have all the faith in my mind that Tua Tagovailoa can come out here and sling it and throw for over 5,000 yards. Patrick Mahomes did it last season. He led the league in passing yards with over 5,200. Touchdowns, I got Trevor Lawrence. Last year, Patrick Mahomes led the league with 41. This year, I think Trevor Lawrence will throw 42 touchdowns, and that should be enough to lead the league. I like what they got going on offensively with Doug Peterson. I like Calvin Ridley this year. ETN can catch it out of the backfield. He can run it. They got a plethora of wide receivers. They might need to get some to Kansas City. Zay Jones over there. They got everybody over there. They got so many wide receivers they can't even count, right? So I got Trevor Lawrence leading the league in touchdowns. Completion percentage, last year was Geno Smith, 69.8. This year I think it's going to be Tua Tagovailoa at 70% completion, which is why I think that will tie into him leading the league in passing yards. Tua hovers around close to 67, 70% for his career at completion percentage. He's always been a fairly accurate quarterback, but this year I think he just has an MVP-type run. Interceptions, I think Josh Allen's going to lead the league in interceptions. Last year it was Davis Mills with 15. This year I think it will be Josh Allen with 16 interceptions. Yes, 16 interceptions for Josh Allen, right? Let's move on to running backs. Running backs, who will lead the league in rushing yards, right? This year, I got Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry is going to go berserk in his offense. I don't know if I don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is overhealed or not. He did catch like 6 passes for like 40-some, 50-some yards last week. So I don't want to say he's over the hill just yet, but Derrick Henry is a man amongst boys. He's still in shape. He still looks good, and I don't see him slowing down any chance or any time any soon. So give me Derrick Henry going for over 18 yards. Last season, of course, it was Josh Jacobs with over 1,600 yards. Leading the league in touchdowns for a running back, I got Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb can score close to 20 touchdowns out of that backfield. He's the lone guy over there, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities to do so. And if this offense is who we think it could potentially be under Deshaun Watson, he's going to get a lot of opportunities in the red zone, and I think he's going to capitalize on them. So give me Nick Chubb going for 20-plus touchdowns this season. Last year, Jamal Williams had 17. He led the league. Catches out of the backfield, right? This is easy. What's understood don't need to be explained. Austin Eckler led the league in catches for a running back last year with 107, albeit most of the wide receivers were injured, so they had to lean more on Austin Eckler. So he may not get 100 catches this season, but there's no doubt in my mind he'll at least get 80, 85 to 88 catches this season, and that should be enough to lead the league with all the pass catchers. His only competition being Christian McCaffrey, and I think they got way too many pass catchers for Christian McCaffrey to get over 80 to 90 catches in that backfield. It's very possible, but I'm taking Austin Eckler to lead the league in catches from the running back position. Wide receiver, who will lead the league in receiving yards for a wide receiver? Last year, it was Justin Jefferson with over 1,800 receiving yards. This year, I got Tyreek Hill. Telling you, this Miami offense will be poised for greatness. I got my Tyreek Hill going for over 2,000 yards, potentially breaking the record for the most receiving yards in a single season. He's already off to a great start, and with the extra game, I don't see why he can't get 1,800 more yards on the season, right? Touchdowns. Who's the best touchdown magnet in the league? If Christian Watson would have been healthy, I would have picked him to lead the league in touchdowns, to be honest with you, because he's a hell of a red zone threat, and he's proven himself in his league in his sophomore campaign. But he was injured week 1, so he's behind the totem pole, right? So who I got is Davante Adams. Davante Adams is a dog, still a dog. It doesn't matter who his quarterback is. Last year, he led the league in touchdown passes with 14. This year, I think he gets one more at 15. Catches. Last year, Jets led the league in catches with 128. I think this year, Amon-Ra St. Brown leads the league in catches with 138. I think Jameson Williams being out is going to force the Lions to target Amon-Ra St. Brown even more than they did last year. So we'll see. Jameson's supposed to be out till about, week 6, week 7. So we'll see how that looks when they intertwine him into this offense and what they got going on with this scheme. But until then, I think by week 7, Amon-Ra St. Brown can have 45 catches, 50 catches by week 7. So I see him definitely leading the league in receptions. Who will lead the league in sacks? Last year, it was Nick Bosa with 18.5 sacks. This year is going to be Micah Parsons with about 19 or 20 sacks. I think he may be able to hit the 20-sack mark. Who knows? Micah Parsons may break the record for sacks this season. Who knows? So I think Micah Parsons is going to be an MVP candidate, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and I think the Dallas defense will finish as the number 1 defense in the league and is going to be led by and responsible for because of Micah Parsons. No doubt about it. Who will lead the league in interceptions? Last year was Minkah Fitzpatrick, who I think is the best safety in the league. This year I think it's going to be Jesse Bates. I like what they got going on over there in Atlanta, and Jesse Bates is a dog, and I think he's going to be in a lot of positions to get interceptions because that defense is going to be on the field a lot more than that offense will. So give me Jesse Bates with 8 interceptions on the season. Finishing should be enough to lead the league. It was like a 4 or 5-way tie. Minkah Fitzpatrick, C.J. Gardner-Johnson was in there. Tyreek Woolen was in there as like a 4 or 5-way tie for first place on interceptions. So shout out to those guys. And for tackles, I'm going to go T.J. Edwards. Like I said, for the same reason I picked Jesse Bates to lead the league in interceptions. I think this Bears defense is going to be on the field way more than this offense will if what I saw on Sunday continues. And TJ Edwards is a tackling machine. He's 100-plus tackles for like the past 3 or 4 seasons of his career. So I like TJ Edwards and what he brings in the middle for that Chicago Bears team. And especially late in games when teams start running the clock out on these guys, he may rack up a bunch of tackles just in the fourth quarter. I'm going to check on that later on in the season, who leads the league in fourth quarter tackles. I would not be surprised to look up and see TJ Edwards. And those are my predictions on who will lead the league. What do my Bengals need to do? I think the Bengals are fine, right? The Cleveland Browns just have their number. And I think the Bengals are okay. They have everything they need to succeed as well. Joe Burrow is coming off an injury, right? So let's give him time to knock the rust off. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, these boys, you know what I'm saying? Joe Mixon is still around. I don't know about that offensive line, but it's never been an issue for them before. I think the Bengals will be fine. I don't have any worry about the Bengals and if they'll be successful later on. Watch next week. Joe Burrow have 400 passing yards. Jamar Chase goes for 250, 2 touchdowns, and everything will be back to regularly scheduled programming. All right. Before we get up out of here, I want to give you guys my picks on the week. Like I told you guys, my podcast is sponsored by Prize Picks, so if you guys want to head over to Prize Picks, download the app, use promo code OG17. They'll match your first deposit. I don't care. Bet on anything. Don't just download the app and then put the promo code in. Download the app, put the promo code in, and put a deposit. Put $10, they give you $10. Put $50, they give you $50. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Take that $50 they give you and put it on this Thursday night game. I'm telling you. But here's my week 2 picks, right? OG's picks for week 2. Use them as you wish. Thursday night game, we got Minnesota at Philly. Come on, now. You know I'm taking Philly to spank these boys. Pause. We got Green Bay at Atlanta. Give me Green Bay. We got Las Vegas at Buffalo. I think Josh Allen bounces back in this game. Even though I kind of low-key like what I saw from Las Vegas. But I think Buffalo bounces back in this game. Baltimore at Cincy. Cincy also has a bounce-back game. And Baltimore, they won in week 1, but they fought a 1-1 after they lose to the Cincinnati Bengals, in my opinion. Seattle at Detroit. I'm going to go Seattle here. Seattle played poorly in the second half of that game against the Rams, and I think they should have a bounce-back game here in week 2. We got the L.A. Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. Give me the Chargers. We got the Chicago Bears at Tampa Bay. Sad to say it, man, but give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Can you think about it? Tampa Bay could start off 2-0. That's crazy. Give me Tampa Bay over Chicago. We got Kansas City at Jacksonville. Give me Kansas City. Travis Kelce should be healthy in this game. We got Indianapolis at Houston. Give me Indianapolis. I'm unsure about Richardson and his health, but still, I think Gardner Minshew is the backup over there, if I'm not mistaken. He's serviceable enough to beat the Houston Texans. Believe that. We got San Francisco at the L.A. Rams. No Cooper Kupp, no luck. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. You got the Giants, who just got put up a 40-burger on and shut out versus the worst team in the league in the Arizona Cardinals. I think this is a great bounce-back game for the Giants. Develop some confidence going into week 3. So give me the Giants. We got the Jets at Dallas. Give me Dallas. No quarterback, no win. I'm telling y'all, the Jets might not make the playoffs this year. Give me Dallas. We got Washington at Denver. Give me Denver in this game, even though I like Washington's defense. Then we got Miami at New England. The greatest defensive mind in the history of the game is Bill Belichick, and he's going to stir up some things to potentially slow down these wide receivers, but I still think Miami pulls out the win. They start the season off 2-0, and the Patriots started off 0-2. We got 2 Monday night games. New Orleans at Carolina. Give me New Orleans. We have Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Give me Cleveland in this game. I'm picking the Cleveland Browns in this game to beat Pittsburgh at home. We'll see what happens. But those are my picks for week 2. You guys let me know what you think about that down in the comments, down in the chat, whatever you want to do, man. I love each and every one of you guys. I appreciate you guys stopping in, right? This was fun. We're going to do this at least once a week. When basketball starts up, we could potentially do it twice a week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I love you guys. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for stopping in. I'm going to get the hell on up out of here. I'm getting a little sleepy, right? I have fun, man. This is a doozy, man. I love all of you guys. My Thursday night pick, y'all already know. My Eagles going to do it to these boys. Yes, sir. So, yeah, I'm going to get on up out of here, though. I love y'all, man. Peace. What's up, y'all? OG the Beast here, and I appreciate you tapping into the Sports Behavior Podcast. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. But if you want to stay connected with me, go ahead and drop me a follow on each and every one of these socials. That's how you stay locked in, man. I appreciate y'all stopping in. We talk football. We talk basketball here. And once again, you are greatly appreciated for stopping by. OG out.